Hey Hofstra fans, welcome inside the W. Mason Coach Report here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Tom Verdi, now joined by the head coach of the Hofstra wrestling team, Rob Anspach. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Coach, you've had a week off since we last talked to you from the CAAs. What's the week of practice been like?
Well, it's been a good week of practice. Guys really working hard, getting focused and getting ready for their matches. Obviously the draws came out last Wednesday, so we started preparing. Some game planning for the guys we'll see in the first round, and really just kind of focus on what we do well and try and get it a little bit better and stay crisp. But practice has been pretty short, about an hour in length, and just really focused.
Now at 125 pounds, as we start to take a look at some of the brackets and matchups, Steve Bonanno, his third NCAA tournament appearance, he starts off against Tyler Iwamura from Cal State Bakersfield. He was an at-large selection. After that, he could have a possible rematch against Nick Betteline from Kent State. What are you expecting from his bracket?
Well, one thing that we tell the guys to always do is just make sure they take it one match at a time, because the one thing I've learned to go into this tournament is the brackets never hold to what they're going to be. So don't start looking ahead at this and that. We got a tough match first round. We wrestled the kid last year at the NCAA tournament, and he was actually beating us the whole match, and we were able to take him down and turn him at the end of the match to get a win. So we need to make sure we handle business first match of the day. Thursday morning, we can't worry about wrestling Betteline or a possible rematch. Let's take care of the kid from Cal State Bakersfield first. If we get a rematch with Betteline, we will, between sessions, talk to Steve about certain things that we need to do. But Steve's capable of being an All-American. He's definitely had the season to back that up. He's as good as anybody in that field, so I expect him to go out there and wrestle hard and do what he has done all season long. And if he does that, it won't be a question of whether or not he's an All-American. It'll be where does he end up on the podium.
And how much do you think having this being his third time around, how much will that help him as well?
Well, I think it's big. He's going out there knowing what to expect. But again, Steve's a guy that there's some people might be putting some pressure on him. Hey, you've had a great season. Let's finish it off, because this is ultimately what you're judged on by the end of the year. And I'm just hoping Steve stays relaxed and stays focused and continues to wrestle how he has this whole season. And if he does that, I look for some big things out of him.
At 133 pounds, Jamie Franco goes in unseeded, has a first-round matchup against number 10, Chris Dardanes. What do you see from that matchup, and what does Jamie need to do to have a good showing?
Well, obviously the first thing he needs to do is get by Dardanes, who, Big Ten wrestler. He's going to come out, he's going to wrestle very hard. He's a physical guy. We watched him down at the Southern Scuffle, and, he's a good kid. He's young, he's, redshirt freshman, but he's very physical, wrestles really hard, takes a lot of shots. So what Jamie needs to do is he needs to go out there and match that intensity. Be ready to wrestle full 7 minutes. I think we can. We're a better scrambler than him, so I expect to see a lot of counter wrestling from Jamie, and then we can ride him when we get on top of him. So we need to get a takedown. We need to stay on top and really try and shorten the match from him, and stay in our positions where we're better. I think we can get some turns on top. So that's what we'll need out of Jamie, and then we'll have to see how the bracket falls from that point. But we got to get by that first one.
At 141 pounds, Luke Byte also goes in unseeded, making his first appearance. He's going up against a freshman from Duke, Tanner Huff, making his first appearance as well. So I guess in terms of the experience, that kind of balances it out there. So what are you expecting from Luke?
Well, we watched some video on the kid from Duke, and he wrestles pretty hard. So again, it's we're going to see the same thing a lot of times. We're down to the last 33 guys in the country. They're all good. They're all there for a reason. So what it's going to come down to is who wrestles their match, who wrestles their style, and who's ready to wrestle for 7 minutes. So Luke needs to be ready to do that. Watching him, I feel pretty good about the matchup. I think we're a better wrestler. We just need to wrestle in our positions. And then moving forward, we need to continue to do that throughout the tournament. So I think we're in a good spot for the first round match. I expect Luke to go out there and wrestle hard and get his hand raised.
At 149 pounds, Justin Acardino, he's going up against 12-seeded Ivan Lopchansky from Purdue. Justin, of course, has wrestled really well at stretches at points this year, so what's going to be the key for him to continue and, take, I guess, the best of what he's done this year and put it forward in the NCAA tournament?
Well, he needs to get shots off, and that's what we talk about with Justin all the time, that he needs to go out there and wrestle and be offensive. He's in a pretty good situation right now. The kid from Purdue, he was a UNC transfer. when they dropped the program. He went to Purdue, and I like the style matchup. The kid is you know, a throw guy, doesn't hit very many shots, so I think we will be able to attack his legs pretty hard. And I just like the way that the matchup is for Acadino at going against the 12 seed and stuff like that. Sometimes you don't know where you're going to be when you're unseeded, and we've been pretty fortunate with our draws. I mean, again, you're talking about the national tournament, everybody's good, but we didn't run into any 1, 2, 3, or 4 seeds in the opening round. So we're in a pretty good situation, and I expect Justin to go out there and take some shots. And this is a match I feel that we can really control if we wrestle up to our ability.
165, PJ Gillespie, his 4th time at the NCAAs, of course, your All-American from last year, finishing 8th place. He's got a matchup against Scott Winston. He's the PJ, the 12th seed, and Winston, a guy that he already faced this year, winning a tight match, 2-0. Can we expect more of the same from that match?
I think so. You got a guy, Scott Winston, who was around a 12 guy last year. It's probably one of the more unfavorable draws we got from the tournament standpoint, where Winston's probably a 13 to 15 guy, right on the cusp of being ranked and getting a seed. He just didn't do it. I like the matchup, though, because it is a match that we have wrestled. I don't think we wrestled our best, and we still were able to come away with a 2-0 victory. We rode him pretty hard, and I think that gives us a lot of confidence going into this match up here that we should be able to beat Winston. And I'd like to see PJ open up a little bit more, get us secure a takedown in the first period, and if we do that, I think it really puts us in the driver's seat against Winston, because I don't see him scoring more than 1 or 2 points in the match. So we just need to make sure we get out there and get in front.
You've talked about wanting a little bit more offensively out of PJ. Do you think that has to come in order for him to be an All-American again this year?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that's what he was able to do last year. I started seeing bits of it at the CAA tournament. He was able to go out there when he needed takedowns and go and get them within his game plan of each match. So, but the thing I like the most is he was getting a lot of first period takedowns, where we've typically seen PJ this year getting a third period takedown. He was out there, he was offensive, he was getting his first period takedown, he was riding real well. So, I want that to continue. If he gets out in front, he's a very hard guy to score on, and he really can shut you down. So we need him to get that first period takedown, and if he does that, he's going to be a difficult guy.
184 pounds, Ben Clymer, your highest seed in the tournament. He's the 11. He's got Oregon State's Ty Pinson in a bracket that's full of most of the guys, top 2, 3, 4, all 1, 2 loss guys. How do you think that bracket's going to shake out?
184 is one of the deeper brackets in the country, but Ben has really been wrestling well, especially since the Southern Scuffle on. He's been on a tear. He had that one little slip up out at Pittsburgh, but other than that, he's put on a pretty good performance. CAA finals, he really looked good as the most offensive I've seen him, beating Scheidel 6-0. Those are usually 1-point matches. So, if he continues to wrestle like that, I expect a lot out of him. We got to get by that first match. Then if the bracket does hold, we're looking at Quinn Wright, defending national champ. But it's a match that Ben's a guy, and most of our guys are this way, that he can wrestle with anybody in the country. He's very stingy. He's always within a point or two of everybody he wrestles. So when you're that way, it's a double-edged sword. When you're always within a point or two, you can beat anybody, but you can also get beat by anybody. So I want him to go out there and be offensive, and I expect him to do the things that got him here this season, and that's be really tough on top and get that riding point and really work hard to get some turns. And I see us doing that against a couple guys this tournament, and I'd like to see where Ben ends up, hopefully on that podium, but he's very capable of doing that.
And how do you expect him to, I guess, break through now in his 3rd NCAA tournament appearance and reach that All-American status?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to go out there and be offensive. I think he has a lot of confidence right now, and I think that's going to be the difference from, I think when he was out there as a freshman or a sophomore, he was kind of there. Last year, he kind of thought he should win, and it showed because he lost an overtime match. He lost a 1-point match. Now I think he's going out there going, hey, you know what, I deserve to be on that podium. I'm one of the best guys in the country, and I'm ready to show it. And he has been doing that throughout the second half of the year, so I need that to continue. And if he does that, he is definitely one of the top 8 guys in the country.
And finally, Coach, what kind of experience are you going to try to impart on some of the younger guys, and how much are you going to look to some of your more experienced guys to maybe provide some of their insight to help some of the guys making their first appearances?
You know, it's one of those things that it's an individual sport. It's not like the team sport where you can have your older guys kind of carry you through the beginning moments of a game or anything like that. You step out there and you got to be ready to wrestle. The biggest thing that these guys need to understand is it's a wrestling match. At the end of the day, it's 7 minutes. They've done it 1,000 times in their life, and it's no different than any other time that they've done it. So they got to just stay composed, and they got to stay relaxed and go out there and compete to the best of their ability. You know, a lot of times this tournament isn't won by the person, the best wrestler. You see it all the time. It's not won by the best wrestler. It's the person who wrestles best that weekend. And a lot of factors go into that: pressure, not making weight right. You don't know what's going to go out there. So give yourself a chance, and that's what I'm going to tell them. Give yourself a chance by being relaxed and wrestling hard for 7 minutes. If you do that, we're as good as any team in the country.
All right, Rob Anspach, head coach of the Hofstra wrestling team. Thanks for joining us inside the WREST Coach Report on GoHofstra.com, and good luck at Nationals.
Thank you.